Alright, so let's check out Buffalo Trace. So, it's... To me, it smelled more just like a generic bourbon.
Oh yeah, it's without a doubt like a standard epitome of bourbon. Like, with people I've talked to about it, like this is without a doubt one of the mainstays of bourbon. Like, if you want to recommend a basic bourbon to someone, this is one of the top ones to do it with.
Right.
There's nothing really like that stands out about it. It's nothing like off the wall.
It's there to do exactly what it does.
Yep, cherry, vanilla, oak, all pretty well blended. Nothing is like overpowering at all. But yeah, nothing special either.
He's good offensive instincts. He sees the ice pretty well. He can make an outlet pass. He's good at joining the rush. So we're really excited with the progress that he's made. And
tell him we used to hire proof stuff that is so mellow.
Really smooth, little peppery. Still has that vanilla, cherry, oak.
And he's making the most of it to this point.
But again, it's still really light because this.
We certainly hope to see more of those offensive.
It is definitely like the.
It's only 86 proof. It's meant to be light.
Yeah, it's 86 proof. I thought it was 90 proof.
Is it 86? It might be.
I thought Trace was 86.
I thought it was 90. I could totally be wrong.
No, it is 90. You're right.
Huh.
I could have sworn it was 86. Okay. Just how much I know. Jesus.
Gino's line with Zuck and Rusty has been together for a while.
Not too sweet, not too spicy. Literally, it
has like the sweet flavors, but not necessarily sweetness.
Mm-hmm. Like, if you could take a bourbon and like pick every single note, like every standard note, like brown sugar, vanilla, oak, fruit, spice, whatever, on a 0 to 10 scale, and just pick a 5 for every single one of them, that's what this bourbon is. That's what this bourbon is.
It's just very unoffensive,
that's what it's made for.
Very generic, very bland, but still flavorful. Still.
That's why people want it, because if you want just something uniform that doesn't really assault you in any way, any of your senses, this is what you want.
Also, I will say this does make one of the best old fashions I've had.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, this is perfect for old fashions. That's what it was made for.
And it's cheap, so it's not blasphemous to do it. Even though people will probably hate you just because it's hard to find, they'll be like, drink it straight!
Bitch, I spent my own money on this.
It's like I posted in the one bourbon group a bottle of Blanton's next to a 2 liter of Coke, and I said, it's time for a good night, and the people got so mad at me. So mad at me. I'm surprised I didn't get kicked out of it, honestly. No, but this is like... You can definitely tell it's like the base of all the other good stuff they make.
Yeah, without a doubt, like, it's...
And that the different iterations bring out different parts of it.
Right off the face-off for a potential scoring chance in the neutral
possession. Yeah, can't say anything really else about it. It's simple.
It's there. It's solid.
Yeah, it's great. I've always loved Buffalo.
And if you can get it at reasonable prices, under 30, it's good.
Oh yeah, no, without a doubt. Like,
I don't know that I'd pay over 30, because over 30 there's other stuff I'd probably buy.
Oh, yeah.
But if you can get it at, PA you get it 27, and it's worth that every day of the week.
Yeah, under 30, buy it every single day of the week.
If you can find it regularly, this should be a daily sipper.
Oh, without a doubt.
Absolutely.
Of course, maybe not in PA, because good luck finding it regularly, but you know.
It's like, hey, I mean, if you show up at the right times, like...
We do get more of that than we get other stuff.
Yeah,
so.
Buffalo Trace is without a doubt like the allocated one that we do get a good bit of, and like even...
And that one's limited to 3 instead of 2, so
yeah.
that helps too.
Yeah.
And you can buy the big ones.
Oh yeah, no,
so,
you guys actually do get a lot of handles. Because I was worried I was never going to see it again, I made sure to buy an additional handle to the one I already have of it. And then I've been seeing it so many times since that I was like, oh, well, I
know in the future, just buy one.
Yeah, I can just buy 5ths and I'll be fine.
Right, but yeah, cool.
All right, on to the Eagle Rare.
Yeah. All right, so sweeter.
Way more brown sugar on the nose with this one. A little bit of maple.
A little bit more oak to me.
Oh yeah.
But 10 years.
Naturally, it's same mash bill, but 3-4 years older.
Also, it's definitely got vanilla on the nose, but not like a creamy vanilla, more like a vanilla yogurt, if that makes sense.
Almost like
It's not,
vanilla
super-
bean, kind of more.
Yeah, like,
maybe
like
more
actual
vanilla
vanilla
bean,
bean than like
Vanilla
the vanilla you expect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Vanilla bean over vanilla cream mix. Yeah, that sounds right.
And by Logan Furniture and Mattress, the official home furniture and mattress supplier of the Pittsburgh Penguins.
So much sweeter.
Yeah, you get
so much sweeter and so much
A lot of brown
smoother.
sugar to me.
brown sugar, way more oak. Little
Which,
less.
again, it's a 10-year, so way more oak makes
Yeah.
a lot of sense.
Each game a different.
It's a little bitter on the end too. I guess it's like a pretty tannic ending, I would say. But
Yeah, it has a little bit more of a hug than the
Oh, it
the
does.
trace, but I wouldn't even call it a hug. It doesn't feel that warm.
it's more of a tingle.
Right.
And I don't know if it's a tingle because of like the heat or if it's because of just
The oak. And
the oak that
flavor.
and the fact that it's like a spicier bourbon because it is pretty spicy. Like at least
Right.
on
And
the finish.
Mashbill number 1 is a higher rye, isn't it? Or is Mashbill number 2 the higher rye?
I think Mashbill 1 is the highest rye. I think.
So no, one like they both have rye as the number 2, but one of them it's more than the other.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
I want to say it's. I gotta look it up. I want to make sure I get this right. I want to say 1 is a higher rye.
We said that the trace is also bottled at 90, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
These are both
So
nice.
these are the same proof. It is a.
Some Sunday night hockey in Pittsburgh, and the home team has a perfect home stand in sight as the Penguins meet the New York Rangers. Good evening, everybody.
So it is also worth noting too that even the rye isn't a very high rye. It's the barely legal rye,
Oh, okay.
where it's just enough rye for it to legally be one, but you still get corn. You still get all those characteristics from a bourbon.
I can't find the game, and the open opened up for me if I move. And
Let's see.
he found a redirect.
So,
Ironically, he didn't even shoot.
Mashbill number 1
But 11 shots,
is.
a career high for Brian Russ, and that line with Malkin. They gotta get it going if the Pens are gonna be
Okay, so Mashbill number 1 is actually slightly less rye,
Interesting. 'Cause
which is weird because it must be the aging that does it.
probably.
That does all the heat,
It probably is, yeah.
and all
Like
the spice because.
yeah, because honestly, a lot of the flavor profile is more based on where you put your liquor in the rack house versus like what you distill it with. That's why like there's honey barrels and shitty barrels because like it's a matter of what kind of like how good the oak is and then where you put it in the rack house.
Right.
That's why there's specific areas where like the high end stuff is always kept and then
Well, that's what like Blanton's is so unique because of the fact that it's kept in that metal warehouse versus a wood or a brick building. Like it's has so much to do with the environment.
And I wish we had more of Mashbill number 2 to actually see the difference
Yeah,
it makes
I've
compared
never-
to other similar things.
I've never had anything else from Mashbill 2 other than Blanton's.
Rock Hill Farm, I think.
Yeah, that's the other one. Yes.
And I've heard phenomenal things about that. I've been trying to get my hands on it because people have been saying like it's $50 and like it's significantly better than anything else that they have. Like
Right.
that. Like if there's anything worth chasing from Buffalo Trace, it's Rock Hill Farms.
That's what I've heard too.
I
I would consider chasing E.H. Taylor too.
I need to taste
not
it again
too
before I make
much,
that
but-
statement. Yeah, because I had it once, but I did not have a clear palate whenever I tasted it. So
Right. So who knows? Yeah. I think the Bowman is going to be a peppery wake up call.
For sure.
Oh, yeah, no, it's-
Bowman is so much more peppery than both of those ones.
it's the youngest of everything on here.
It's the youngest, and it's aged in a different state, or it's finished in a different state rather.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean they do enough different to it. It's the same proof, which makes that a really interesting comparison. But also the casual national anthem behind our video.
Patriotic. We
I
like
should
it.
probably specify that we do have the Pens game on in the background once again. It's okay, like almost every one of my videos I post for a while will have it in the background because we've recorded like 8. Alright, so
On to the Bowman.
it smells more similar to the Buffalo Trace than the Eagle Rare.
For sure.
Definitely. Definitely that same kind of middle of the road on the nose. Like,
Right, I
nothing
get a
jumps
little
out.
bit more brown sugar.
Yeah, less cherry, more brown sugar, and I get more
Good defensive work up top. Happening. Out the clock to center.
more brown sugar, a little less cherry. White pepper, maybe? There's some kind of spice on the nose. I don't know.
It's definitely pepper. I mean, I remember tasting.
Yeah, it's a very
bomb,
peppery
so-
bourbon. I definitely it definitely has a lot more of the spice to it than either Trace or Eagle Rare.
I would have to say white pepper because it's not cinnamon, it's not clove, and it's not black pepper.
Right. Could be red pepper.
Yeah, actually, yeah, it could be because it is a little fruity still. So maybe that's what I'm thinking.
The Penguins wanting to get those hits like Kapanen just did on the last shift. He's going with the number one line again. The offensive zone.
Super spicy from front to back.
So peppery, yeah. And it's pepper in particular.
Trying to clear off Sabatic.
Red pepper, black pepper.
Oh yeah, every
If it's pepper and it exists, you taste it in it.
Oh,
black pepper, white pepper,
absolutely.
red pepper, pink pepper, whatever.
Rainbow pepper. Everything.
It is more sweet than regular buffalo.
Dr. Pepper.
Is there cola? Do I get hints of cola? No, this isn't
You
snacks.
do a little bit of the cherry, but all it tastes like you took Buffalo Trace and made it a high rye.
Yeah,
Kinda.
So I don't. Yeah, because it's not tannic. This is not tannic whatsoever.
Right, it's
It's
still
all
aside
spice.
from the spice, it's very smooth,
It is.
and it doesn't have heat. It just has spice.
Yeah.
It doesn't have much heat beyond Buffalo Trace. I mean, it's because it can't be aged much differently than Buffalo Trace.
No. Although I will say that this is has a little bit more of a hug than the other ones. It does not have heat though. On the,
Right.
in the mouth.
I think the hug's coming from the pepper.
It might
It's
very
just the
yeah,
spice.
it very well could be.
Because there's I don't want to say the spice is it's not overwhelming, but it overwhelms the rest of it.
Yeah.
Where that's what you're getting.
And the thing that surprises me too is that for how spicy it is, I don't get any cinnamon whatsoever. Like that's usually a common thing with like spicy bourbons is that you get a lot of cinnamon. Like,
You know, but you're getting it's solely pepper on this.
yeah, it's only pepper. Like whenever we have that Weller, like it's spicy, but it's all cinnamon spice. It's like cinnamon bark almost.
Right. This is
pepper.
It tastes like it has elements of a rye, but it very much is not a rye.
And that being said, like this is not bad. Whenever we say like it's mostly just pepper and spice, it's
Right.
by no means bad. It's just that's
Like I still will say this is arguably one of my favorites of what we of the Buffalo Trace stuff here, and I should disclaim this is not officially Buffalo Trace because it's sourced directly from them, but it is re-distilled and finished in Virgin.
Which amazes me
Virginia.
with the fact that Buffalo Trace sells like bourbon for sourcing, considering that they cannot keep anything in stock.
Right.
Yeah, you can't get fucking E.H. Taylor or Eagle Rare to save your life, but yet they're selling off bourbon just.
They're selling distillate for.
I think
Bowman.
they're literally selling like the straight distillate, and then it's being fully aged in Virginia.
I thought that they sold it partially aged, like it was like the minimum amount of
Yeah, I thought they
It
sold
could
it aged
be.
too.
Because like that's the whole idea behind sourcing it is that like you don't have to wait for the extra aging. Whenever you buy source stuff, you're buying it already pre-aged. So
Yeah, they definitely they have to age it at least another year on top of that.
I have a feeling that like this is a craft distillery. I think that somebody knows somebody at like
At Buffalo Trace.
not even Buffalo Trace, maybe in Sazerac.
That's possible.
And like that's how they're getting the source because like I don't know what else it would be. Like I feel like somebody high up at Bowman, because it is a craft distillery, knows somebody high up at Sazerac or Buffalo Trace or whatever.
And I can't even say that's a bad thing because they're making good stuff out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would recommend this bottle I actively at work recommend this bottle every day of the week. And I'll continue to do so, especially if you're looking for a Buffalo Trace product and you can't find one and you see this on the shelf.
It's a good sub.
It's I mean, it's as if you want Buffalo Trace, it's as close as you're gonna get.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you have a bottle set aside for me right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's multiple ways you can go. Like we said earlier, Buffalo Trace is like the most middle of the road bourbon you can get. If you want it to be a little bit more sweeter and brown sugar and take more of the savory sweet notes of bourbon, go the route of Eagle Rare. If you want to get more spice out of it and like keep the same level of like sweet but not sweet that Buffalo Trace has,
that's when you go for this Bowman.
Go for Bowman.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's always weird that I'm recommending people looking for Buffalo Trace. I'm recommending something that is not officially from them at all.
No.
And Bowman doesn't say where it's from. Buffalo Trace says where it's from.
Yep.
Which is really weird because you would expect Bowman to be like, oh yeah, we source ours from Buffalo Trace, we turn it into this and use it for the hype, but they don't do that.
Yeah, no,
They're trying to make a name from their flavor, and I'd say it works because
and that being
it's
said,
good.
That being said, because of how spicy it is, I do like really want to try the Isaac Bowman, which is just Bowman Brothers aged in pork barrels. So
Right.
I'm really anxious to try that, especially because I think it's only $35 at MSRP.
Right, I mean, that's what this is, too.
Yeah. So
I think this is like 30.
yeah,
We get it for 35 if you get it.
I really want to try it because that spice, it's gonna be like drinking either a rye whiskey aged in pork barrels the same way Midwinter's Night is, and for some reason rye just lends itself better to port. I don't know why, it just does.
Just like the basil dark rye.
Yeah, right.
Basil Hayden's Dark Rye. Basil Hayden's Dark Rye
That was
is
just such an interesting one.
it has a soft spot in my heart. I'll occasionally sip it if like I want the taste of port and I don't have any port. Because it's
But otherwise, it's for me personally, it's a cocktail.
it makes the best Manhattan of all time. Like it makes my all-time favorite.
All three of
Manhattan.
us, it's unanimous. So anyone listening,
Yeah,
it's
if you want a
Hazel Hayden Dark
Manhattan,
Rye.
Basil Hayden dark rye.
If you like Manhattans, buy a bottle of Basil Hayden Dark Rye and you're gonna make the best fucking Manhattan you've ever had.
But yeah, if you were to tell me this Bowman was part of Buffalo Trace's lineup directly, I would believe you.
Oh yeah.
100%. It fits right in, and it fits right in without just being like a copy.
Mm-hmm.
And without them just being like, oh, we made this and we made it from Buffalo Trace, buy it. No, they're like, no, we're this. That's why it's a hidden gem, is that they don't advertise that it's Buffalo Trace.
Mm-hmm.
But
Good
it's
job.
delicious. They really do.
And I'm surprised that.
And it's $35. $35, it's worth that every day of the
Oh,
week.
absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
I'm honestly amazed too by how much I do not see it on our bourbon on Reddit. But how much those people jerk off about like
Buffalo Trace products.
actually every Buffalo Trace product except for Blanton's. Our bourbon hates Blanton's.
Well, they believe it's overhyped.
Yes,
But
which I will agree with.
I'm of the stance for Blanton is worth the money, but it's not
Worth the money, but
hype.
overhyped.
Yeah,
Not worth the hunt and not worth the popularity it has. But it's good.
hey man, if I can sell it for like $500, like buy it for $50 and sell it for $500, I'll do that every day of the week.
Oh, you're right.
I just need to buy real estate somewhere in another state.
All right, yeah, let's change up the proof and let's go with bottled and bond.
Oak,
It
Caramel
smells
and-
a lot more like Eagle Rare.
yes. Oak,
Definitely.
caramel, and toffee. But it's way smooth. It doesn't smell as like tannic oaky as Eagle Rare.
Right. I think it smells like. That's the right way to say it. It smells a little bit like. I mean, granted, it is a higher proof. It smells less watered down. Like you can
Yes.
smell everything. It's all more pronounced.
Absolutely.
Everything's more pronounced, and also I don't smell any spice whatsoever, unlike everything else we've had so far.
Yeah, absolutely. It for being from the same Mashbill, you don't get the spice from this one. You get
No.
all of the sweetness.
All caramel, all toffee. I don't get any vanilla, surprisingly.
Yeah.
And I don't
I get
get.
maybe a tiny bit, but you definitely get caramel.
It's
Like,
definitely
by
caramel.
far.
Definitely, you get the brown sugar.
And I don't get. Oddly enough, I barely get any cherry. Like there's a little bit of fruit, and cherry's the only pronounced note, but there's not nearly as much fruit on this one as there was the other three.
Right.
Are we sure this is this is Mashbill 1?
Positive.
Positive.
Huh.
I'll even double check as we take our sips. Yes, sir,
Definitely
it is.
spice on the mouth.
It is definitely Mashbill number 1.
Okay. Yeah, this one's spicy. Not nearly as sweet on the
It's
on
a
the
lot
palate.
sweeter on the nose than it is on the palate.
It
The
is.
spice lingers a lot more.
It does.
It like, and it's a different spice than the Bowman.
This one is
It's
purely
not
white pepper.
peppery. It's not as. It's not like the red and black pepper like we get
Yes.
a lot of.
This is like purely white pepper because it's a lot more subtle. Like it's not nearly as aggressive. As
Right.
the
It just it tastes like spice more than it tastes like any pronounced other kind of flavor. It's
There is a strange note on it that I can't really explain. I don't know what it is because it's not oak, it's not tannic. I mean, the whiskey itself is a little more tannic on the finish, but there's a note on like the palate.
I'm gonna look up tasting notes and see if because I'm tasting this too, but
Yeah, there's something weird on the front end, like on the palate front end. That
let's see what the reviews say because it's one of those things where it's on the tip of my tongue as to what that flavor is, but I can't place it. So
again without Marcus Pedersen, you saw Ricola, Mike Matheson, Zach Trotman. So that depth really tested Bogdan.
almost
So
like
far so good with the players.
it's almost like a leather.
Well, they've had a left-handed defenseman for so many years here. You get all the injuries to the left-hand shoulder.
Actually, yeah, I could say that.
It's like a leather. They also say they get a little bit of tobacco.
Tobacco. It's tobacco.
It's tobacco.
It's
That's,
tobacco.
Yeah, 100%. Absolutely.
Because I do taste leather more than I taste tobacco. Now that I'm looking at that,
It's a very much.
there's definitely it's there. It's underneath everything.
It's like a light leather and a very unsweet like cigar tobacco almost. Like it's not like cheap cigarette tobacco, but it's not sweet pipe tobacco. It's
Right.
very much like a Connecticut cigar kind of tobacco.
Right. It's this is interesting.
And there's your man Blackwell, who was just inserted into the lineup.
I almost regret giving you this bottle.
Yeah, you're not getting this one back.
Yeah,
I'm not intending to get it back. I could buy it when it comes back in.
Yeah, you and I definitely vary tremendously whenever it comes to palates because you love the spicy stuff, and I am definitely more of a sweets person when it comes to my bourbon.
I like both because
We
I love
both like
the
both.
weeded stuff. I love the sweet stuff.
That,
too.
1792 Sweet Weed is one of
My-
my favorite bourbons over time.
My taste is all over the place.
Fair enough.
So, because I do like a bit of everything. There's some malted stuff I like. I'm so curious to hear what you think of that altered state beer.
I am too, because I'm very
It's
like
so
that's
different.
such a weird bottle. Like it's the most unique bottle that I
I need to
have.
be doing lighter pours because as we're getting into the higher proof stuff.
Oh, yeah.
start feeling this.
Well, I've had all this stuff before. Like I've never.
Well, make sure you still keep some room
Yes,
in
I
for-
definitely. I want to try those two so badly. I've had regular ones. I've never had the.
Do you want to do the Weller after the Blantons? We can do the Weller, then we can do this 15-year, and then break into anything else that we want to taste.
Yeah, then we could do the altered state and then the Sam Houston.
Are we doing videos of those?
Yeah.
You can. Yeah. We already did a video of the Reekers.
Okay. Okay.
I just brought that.
Alright, let's check out this motherfucker.
Blanton's.
See if it lives up to the hype. Hint, it doesn't. It's good, but it doesn't.
It's great. It's awesome.
It's
I love
worth the
it.
money. It's not worth the hunt.
Honestly,
Anyway.
of all the things we've had so far, this is the highest hit of ethanol on the nose.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
I get.
But yet it's still so smooth whenever it's on your palate. It's wild.
Like,
It's complex for sure. Like the nose, I'm still picking apart, but it definitely is the highest ethanol hit. And I still don't. I don't even think it's what, like 97 proof.
This one is 93.
93. That
it
wow.
varies. It varies by batch.
Yeah.
There's that batch. I think mine's 95.
Okay.
Yeah, I definitely got a lighter batch.
Yeah.
But
Mixed
hey, you take it when you can get it.
Fair enough. I definitely want to try and trade the bottle that I have because I still haven't broken into it. And there's definitely things that I want that people would probably be willing to trade for Blands for some odd reason.
Yeah.
But mixed berry on the nose, tons of different berries.
As it airs out, the ethanol hit definitely goes away.
For
It
sure.
does.
For sure.
It's definitely not as harsh. A little bit of white pepper because it's spicy, but it's not like the Buffalo Trace or the Bowman Brothers.
Right. This is also slightly higher rye mash bill. Keep in mind we're
True.
on mash bill 2 now.
Yeah, it's a
so
different mash bill.
This
so
is
you're not
different.
gonna get-
This is not the same blend as everything else we've just had.
Mm-hmm.
As if these are all going to be. Well, this is going to be one video, so I guess that's fine.
Yeah.
But
It's sweet, but I don't know what sweetness it is because it's not. Maybe just caramel.
I was like, yeah,
it's
almost
basic sweetness.
It's caramel, but it's not very pronounced as caramel.
No,
It's like it's trying to smell like caramel.
burnt sugar.
Yes.
Yes.
Burnt sugar.
Yeah.
Yes.
Time for Jay's illustration. Jay, Penguins do come up with kind of a hard-working opportunity here to get something going on the other end.
Yeah, starting the defense.
That's way more bitter than I was expecting
The
it to be.
Rangers make that's been shown up a couple times. Just not reading to play well. The Penguins might be able to take advantage
It's
of
got a
that.
lot of warmth to it,
It
and
does.
it lasts for a little while.
Yeah, this definitely is the best Kentucky hug of all of them,
You're going to see Bowman's on his
but
side, but
it's also harsher on the mouth than
and
any of
everyone's
the
going
other
to
ones.
cross this way, so a chance for a reverse.
Right.
Whatever
It's-
it might be, just try and get out of the zone. The forecheck's heavy by the Rangers.
This one's more yeasty too. Like I get like bready notes on it.
Here's going to be the mistake.
For sure.
Right in this position.
This is very different than the Blantons that I have too. So for sure.
Yeah, it is worth noting that Blanton's does vary by batch, just because the proofs are never exactly the same, the batches are never exactly
Well,
the same.
it's single barrel, so every single
Yeah, every single
Right,
barrel is
exactly.
different, but it's
Exactly, and that's different than everything else you've had is either a small batch or like Buffalo Trace, it's just a blend.
And I think that like the reason why Bland's is as hyped as it is isn't necessarily because it's the best tasting, but because there's so much variation from bottle to
There's
bottle.
variation, and of course you do have to consider the shape of the bottle and the collectability.
Oh, yeah.
and they've created a scarcity and a collectability to something that is, I mean, it's a great bourbon, but it's not.
There's far better things.
There's
out there.
far better things out there.
Especially for the price point too. Like
Right.
Like-
But it's also again like it has a similar kind of appeal like Jefferson's Ocean does, where batches can be dramatic or bottles can be dramatically different.
well, the way that I look at it now at this point is that because Buffalo Trace is such a highly renowned distillery, because let's be real, they make really good shit, and like it's unique, it stands out. Buffalo Trace, if you drink,
They found their things that work that people like.
Mhm.
It works,
and then
and they have their experiments that also work.
And
But
then-
look at all the H tailors.
Yep. And then Blanton's is the single barrel variation where every single bottle is going to taste different. And people are going to be like, I want the best bottle, like I'm going to keep hunting until I find like that bottle from Buffalo Trace that's just perfect.
The one.
And I think that's why people still hunt for it, because it's not only that, it's just the fact that like, you know, there is the other hype factors we were talking about, but I still don't understand why, like, when people buy their first bottle, they're not like, oh, like, it's good, but...
Yeah, I mean,
See, it's interesting though because like my bottle, you get a lot less of the bitterness that you get on the palate with this one.
mine's
You still get the Kentucky
also
hug.
from April,
Okay.
and it has been opening up since April, so that does play into this a bit.
But mine, I've had mine for about a year and it's been opening up, and I had a glass of it.
Yeah, I think that you just ended up getting a more tannic bottle.
You got a very bitter bottle of this, which isn't a. I mean, it isn't a
That's
bad
not a
thing.
bad
It's
thing,
still good.
especially if that's the type of flavor you like. Like,
Yeah, some people...
that caters to some people's taste. There's a reason they release it. They won't release it if it's not good enough to release.
What I found is that, like, the more tannic something is that it appeals to red wine drinkers, because red
Yes.
wine is so
And that's
tannic.
why, so red wine that is bourbon barrel aged, people go nuts over that. Cooper and Thief.
Oh, it's
I've
so
heard
good.
phenomenal. And we even talked about this. Yeah, it's
Like-
phenomenal.
Like, the only people that don't like it are, like, the super wine snobs who, like, they want bottles that are, like, from one season with one particular grape from one particular vineyard, and...
Right. But that's a whole. I mean, they're bourbon snobs like that too,
Yes.
where they want very specific things.
But, yeah, no, like, Cooper and Thief, I don't like wine, and I fucking love that shit.
Yeah.
I really want to try the what is it? Rye aged Cabernet Sauvignon.
Yep.
I haven't seen it anywhere. Which
There's from Cooper and Thief. Or
Yeah.
different one? Yeah, I was gonna say we don't have the Cooper and Thief one. We do have a Robert Mondavi Private Select one. That's rye barrel aged.
I tried their bourbon barrel aged, and I was not a huge fan of it.
It's
Like,
cheap.
Cooper and Thief, oddly enough, Apothic's bourbon barrel aged was pretty good too.
It was.
Like, I was surprised at how much I liked that one. And then what was the other one? 1,000 Stories.
Yeah, that one's good too.
1,000 Stories is pretty good.
But
But yeah,
this
like
is
this is
back to the Blantons. Like It's good.
It's great.
It's worth the price if you can get it at MSRP or around it. Like we get it at 60 in PA. I would buy it for 60. It's worth 60, but it's not worth the secondary price ever. Even if it's something that if you are hunting for it because you've never had it and you find it for $200, it's not worth it. Skip over it. Wait till you can find it for a good price.
It's worth it. Between 60, 65, it's worth it.
Yeah, if you go, I would say if you could find it under 75, if it's hard for you to find under 75, I could justify dumping the money to try it. Or if you like it, to have the bottle, but like, it's the hype. I mean, like we've discussed, a lot of different things play into that hype, but I don't know that it's worth all that hype.
Like, if you're going to compare it to something, its competition is the Rebel Yell 10-year single barrel, Baker's 7-year single barrel.
And believe it or not, if you could buy made in PA stuff, apparently the McLaughlin's.
McLaughlin actually is pretty good. Like,
it's at $70, and supposedly people who look for Blantons that can buy the McLaughlin's when there isn't Blantons will do that.
Yeah.
Because it's the closest you can get to the Blantons. And it's $10 more, but supposedly it's a good enough competitor that if you can't find it and you want it, it's worth the extra $10.
Yeah, that is the thing about craft.
I do kind of want to try it for that reason. But
don't look at me because I don't buy craft bottles.
Yeah, my extent to buying craft bottles is I bought that one weeded Ohio bourbon.
Oh, yeah.
The Middle West, which turned out to be really good.
Yeah, I was
and the new riffs. But again, I'm okay with the heat that those ones came with.
Oh,
because the flavor was there.
Don't forget the rabbit hole. That turned out to be like a gem.
I mean, it's a craft, but it's so. I have trouble calling that one a craft. Same with the new riff at this point because it has enough popularity. I have trouble calling it a craft.
So
it has the characteristics, but the new riff has the popularity. The rabbit hole is starting to get up there, but like that rabbit hole was something else.
Yeah.
I can't wait to do a video on that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one because I do enjoy that rabbit hole. Oh.
But yeah, so this is a comparison of almost the entire Mashbill number 1. A little hint to Mashbill number 2, and it is worth noting that if we were to do the Weeders, all the Wellers and all the Pappy Van Winkles are all Buffalo Trace.
Yep.
And it is worth noting that all the Sazeracs and all the variations of E.H. Taylor are also all Buffalo Trace.
Yes.
Also so we've barely gotten into Buffalo Trace, and we've tried.
We've done all of the main Buffalo Trace stuff.
Except for Stag.
Except for Stag.
Yeah, we are. That's the only big one we're missing from Stag Jr. and George T. Stag are the only two we're really missing from Mashbill number 1.
Yes.
But good luck finding the George T. Stag. The Stag Jr. is a lot easier to find.
Yeah, it's easy to find George T. Stagg if you have an extra $2,000 lying around.
Well, yeah.
If you have enough money, you can get just about anything, though.
Yeah.
Exactly. But, so, which one would you say has been your favorite of all these?
Probably Eagle.
If we're going to sip, Eagle Rare is my favorite. If we're going to make a cocktail, Buffalo Trace is my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have to agree. The Bowman comes in a very close second to me personally.
Mm-hmm.
I like that peppery flavor a lot, and it's so unique.
Yeah.
I haven't tried another one like these other ones. I mean, they're unique in the sense that it's unique to find one that's so right down the middle that can appeal to everything. But the Bowman just has that unique twist on it that I've yet to be able to find anywhere else.
Mm-hmm. To me, I think the E.H. Taylor and the Eagle Rare are kind of both close first and second for me. I think the Eagle kind of edges it out. I really like the sweetness that it offers.
And I was going to say, the E.H. Taylor is fantastic if you want a bottle of blonde. It's one of the better ones I've had.
So, if you prefer like a more spicy, balanced, less sweet bourbon, E.H. Taylor is probably the best one I've had. Because of how much I like my sweets in my bourbon, it is not one that I personally subscribe to.
Right. I would pick all these for different reasons, except maybe the Blantons. But I would pick the Blantons for its variation.
I'll have to bring over sometime my bottle of Blantons.
I would definitely trade a sample of the bottles.
Yeah, I'd love to compare those two. That's because mine, yours is 4/14/20. Okay, mine I believe is like sometime in July of 19.
That could make a significant difference. Just because.
I forget what my exact date is, but I think it was July of 19, because it was right around the time whenever I went to the distillery.
Oh yeah, no, if it's a single barrel, like that makes all the difference in the world, because like, if you're batching things, you can make them taste pretty consistent from batch to batch.
Which is why, for example, and I know, your dad would stare daggers at me, but Four Roses, I prefer the small batch over the single barrel most of the time, because I know what I'm getting from the small batch.
Yeah, that's fair. But that is the thing that
some of the single barrels I've tried.
That's the thing about Four Roses that I like, is that because they do all those different yeast strains and everything, they truly have like the most unique single barrel of anybody on the market, and for a reasonable price. And in a lot of respects, there's going to be a lot of risk involved, but the bottles of single barrel I've gotten from Four Roses, I have liked significantly better than their small batch.
That's fair.
Even in a lot of cases, even their small batch select, I've liked. Like I've liked single barrels better.